The women, who were led by Kafa's Elisha Tiga, convener of the Coalition of Indigenous People of NASARAWA State, demonstrated from Lafia Toll Gate to the Lafia Stadium, expressing their grievances against the decision of the appeal court. Tiga.
Nigeria is gradually turning into something that we cannot define now. The judiciary has been doing things that the citizens don't like right from the time of the presidential election up to now. The recent happening of the Court of Appeal judgments that is delivering the gubernatorial judgments across the country have been sending signals to the citizens. We understand that APC want to hijack so many states, from Kano State now to NASARAWA states. The residents have taken their destiny into their hands, and they have trooped out in the street to protest against the judgment of the appeal court about the gubernatorial torso in NASARAWA state. It was a peaceful Saturday morning yesterday when so many indigents of Nasarawa State from across East 13 local government areas on Saturday held peaceful protest in Lafia, the state capital, against the recent judgment of the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja, which pronounced Governor Abdullahi Sunday winner of the 2023 governorship election in the state, contrary to the will of the people. The Governorship Election Petition Tribunal had on October 2, 2023 sacked Sunday of All Progressive Congress and declared David Mbugado of the People's Democratic Party winner of the election. Unsatisfied by the tribunal judgment, the governor filed an appeal to set aside the judgment and affirm his election as announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission. During the protest on Saturday, which commenced at the Welcome to Lafia City Gate and ended at the Stadium Junction, the women and youth dressed in black wedding leaves. They also wielded placards with several inscriptions such as "The law should protect us on merit, not technicalities." Nasarawa mourns for the soul of democracy, and President Tinubu, please save our democracy. This is laughable because they know that Tinubu can never save this democracy. Rather, he has come to destroy it, because I know the APC government recently are going to use everything it takes to hijack so many states ahead of 2027 election, so that even though they did not perform, they will still have votes and maneuver their way to power in 2027. This is their game plan. On that very Saturday, speaking after the protest, which lasted about 3 hours, the convener Coalition of Indigenous People of Nasarawa State, CAFAS, Tiga, accused the appeal court of imposing Sunday on the people of the state. He therefore appealed to the Supreme Court to do the needful by carefully looking at the facts and figures in the case and announcing the actual winner of the election. The convener said the new normal established by the appeal court has created a dangerous precedent that undermines the fundamental principle of majority rule. And that is the problem we are talking about, because when the court will be declaring the winner who has minority against the majority of the people, that is no longer a democracy. The rights of indigenous people as expressed through their votes must be protected and upheld without any compromise and violation. For far too long, Nasarawa State has been subjected to external control, primarily driven by economic exploitation, neglecting the welfare and security of our citizens and their properties. Our people have been under persecution based on their religious belief or their ethnic affiliations. We are here today to shed light on the fact that David Mbugado of the PDP rightfully won the governorship election held on March 18, 2023. The wrongful declaration of Audu Sunday as the winner by INEC was a clear deviation from the true democratic process. We are hereby calling upon the international community, including the United Nations, Africa Union, ECOWAS, European Union, and the United States, whose commitment to democracy values is renowned, to come to our aid in Nasarawa State. We must safeguard our democracy against the external influence and ensure that the rights of the indigenous people to determine their destiny is respected. Our last hope lies in the Supreme Court, the final arbiter of justice, to stand firmly by our laws and allow the voice of the majority to prevail over the technicalities of the court. Let this be a moment for the Supreme Court to reiterate its commitment to the principles of democracy and protect the rights of indigenous people. We implore the Supreme Court to correct this injustice and enforce the true will of the people of NASARAWA State. Well, the protest and their speech is highly welcome, but looking at it, I think the people now have to be taking destinies into their hand, because we hoping on the judiciary, on the INEC, on the government, we are applying the same result that is not giving us positive result. We are applying the same solution, hoping on court, but the result, the outcome of what we are doing is not giving us a positive result. And that is why the people are now learning new things to protest, to cause revolution. And the government must as well learn new things to hear the people, because the power belongs to the people. If we do not make them to believe that power belongs to us, that power belongs to the people, they will continue to exploit the people and nothing is going to happen. And I think the time for the political revolution in Nigeria is now.
Well, after the 2023 elections and the fireworks in the Supreme Court, of course, I am armed with the new jurisprudence of election in Nigeria, which the Supreme Court has laid to rest by reconfiguring democracy. And without landmark judgment, election in Nigeria now means INEC. So if you want to contest election in Nigeria, you have to lobby INEC, you have to go to INEC. That's the decision of the Supreme Court. That INEC, even if they make bylaws regulating election, that they are at will to jettison it even at midnight and declare anybody, and you cannot hold them accountable. So I think politicians should learn this judgment. They should study the judgment and understood that there is a radical departure from what is called elections in Nigeria. So I'm busy trying to study it, and I have been advising those who are interested in elections to campaign in INEC offices, try to befriend Professor Mahmoud, because anything outside this, you're not going to get justice. Justice is more or less an enemy in Nigeria. And I think that explains the plethora of challenges we have, from unemployment, hunger, poverty, insecurity. All this is as a result of the absence of justice. And so we talk more about peace, forgetting that the justice is the foundation of peace. Therefore, we are here to discuss how people-centered justice mechanism can be developed. And we've been brainstorming about some of the theories they brought as to how justice can be made accessible to Nigerians. But the fundamental question is, how does a poor man in Sabongida village access justice with the very expensive profile of the judicial process? How can he access it? I mean, even in the police station in my village, for you to get bail, you need not less than 5,000. And 5,000 today in a Nigerian community is big money. So how do we make justice available? Now, this, you have to put it at the doorstep of the political will to lead. Because without the political will for leadership in Nigeria, nothing will work.